أكبر الله.
We are now basically above the seventh heaven. He has met all of the prophets, including Ibrahim alayhi salam, and now he proceeds onwards above this. What is beyond this? He said, ثُمَّ رُفِعَتْ إِلَيَّ سِدْرَةُ الْمُنْتَهَى. And then I saw in front of me the Sidratul Muntaha. What is the Sidratul Muntaha? The Sidra is a type of tree that is known for its large branches, that it covers a wide area. It goes very vast, and it's known for its delicious fruit and sweet scent. And Muntaha means the very end. So the Sidra at the end, this is how it translates into Sidratul Muntaha, the Sidra at the very end. In English this is called the lote tree. It's called the lote tree. In English this is the translation. And then I was told, هذه Sidratul Muntaha. In other words, he's seeing this tree and then he is informed by Jibreel, this is the Sidratul Muntaha. We have very little information about the Sidratul Muntaha. All that we know, this is the last thing that the Prophet ﷺ saw before he went above to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the final. And there are other things as well that we don't know, because Allah has said, when the tree was enveloped by what it was enveloped by, the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ did not move beyond that, nor did they go astray, meaning he absorbed this beautiful sight, right? And this is when he said that the Baytul Ma'mur is a house, a Kaaba, similar to the Kaaba. And in one hadith he said, it is above the Kaaba on this earth, such that if it were to fall down, it would land on the Kaaba. It would land on this Kaaba. So there is a Bayt that is in the heavens, like there is a Bayt that is on this earth. And this is when he said every day 70,000 angels enter it, never to return. And this has been happening since Allah created it until the Day of Judgment. 70,000 angels on a daily basis, and they never repeat ever again between any two angels. And if you do the math after a while, your mind starts boggling away. How many angels are there? And it's, of course, as Allah says, only Allah knows the quantity of angels. And then he saw Jibreel alayhi salam in his original form. He saw Jibreel alayhi salam in his original form, and he described him in many ahadith. One of them, Sahih Bukhari, he said, له 600 جناح. Jibreel had 600 wings. قد سد الأفق. He blocked the entire horizons. And he said in another hadith in At-Tabari, he says that from the feathers of Jibreel's wings, pearls and corals were dripping. So again, these are not static creatures, neither Sidrat al-Muntaha nor Jibreel, that there is this mystical reality to them, that from his feathers, so Jibreel has feathers, and Jibreel has 600, and that is the maximum number. Allah says in the Quran, most of the angels, Allah says, 2 or 3 or 4 wings, right? But Jibreel alayhi salam, in this hadith we learn he has 600 wings, because he is the most chosen of the angels of Allah, and he has been preferred over all of the other angels. Ibn Mas'ud said, when he saw Jibreel, this is the reference in the Quran, he saw of his major signs, right? So what does it mean he saw of his major signs? Well, 3 things he saw one after the other at the highest level. Number 1, Sidrat al-Muntaha. Number 2, Baytul Ma'mur. Number 3, Jibreel. And every one of them is min ayati rabbih al-kubra. Every one of them is min ayati rabbih al-kubra. Then Ibn Mas'ud said the Prophet ﷺ was given 3 things. Number 1, the 5 salah. We're going to come to that. Number 2, khawatimu surat al-Baqarah, the ending of Surat al-Baqarah. And number 3, Allah promised him that whoever worshipped him from his ummah without doing shirk, that he will be forgiven and caused to enter Jannah. This was a promise, a gift that Allah gave. It was then that the Prophet ﷺ went to the gist of Al-Isra, and that is the divine appointment. That is the divine presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ says, ثُمَّ عُرِجَ بِي حَتَّى ظَهَرْتُ لِمُسْتَوًا أَسْمَعُ فِيهِ صَرِيفَ الْأَقْلَامِ. Then I was caused to ascend forth in the singular Not Jibreel brought me forward, because before that it was always Jibreel is bringing with me, and Jibreel tells me this is Sidrat al-Muntaha. Once he gets to Sidrat al-Muntaha, the Prophet ﷺ speaks in the third person that someone caused me to ascend, not Jibreel anymore. And I rose to a level where I could hear the pen writing. Now, what is the pen and who is the writer? We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the first thing that Allah created was the pen. أول شيء خلق الله تعالى القلم. And then Allah told the pen, uktub. So the pen asked Allah, what should I write? And Allah said, write everything that will happen until the end, until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Write everything. So the pen is being written directly by the command of Allah. There is no scribe doing the writing. The pen is a creation of Allah that is doing the writing. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, I rose to a level where I could hear the pen being inscribed. Allahu A'lam, we can assume from this that the Prophet ﷺ rose beyond the Sidrat al-Muntaha alone. Who else is there in this audience other than the owner of the throne and the one who tells the pen to write? So this was an elite audience, the likes of which we don't know ever occurred with any other being, any other creature. But we don't have any details about what was said except for the 50 salawat.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى علمه شديد القوى ذو مرة فاستوى وهو بالأفق الأعلى ثم دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى فأوحى إلى عبده ما أوحى ما كذب الفؤاد ما رأى أفتمارونه على ما يرى ولقد رآه نزلة أخرى عند سدرة المنتهى عندها جنة المأوى إذ يغشى السدرة ما يغشى ما زاغ البصر وما طغى لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى تلك إذا قسمة ضيزى إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس ولقد جاءهم من ربهم الهدى أم للإنسان ما تمنى فلله الآخرة والأولى وكم من ملك في السماوات لا تغني شفاعتهم شيئا إلا من بعد أن يأذن الله لمن يشاء ويرضى إن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة ليسمون الملائكة تسمية الأنثى وما لهم به من علم إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا فأعرض عمن تولى عن ذكرنا ولم يرد إلا الحياة الدنيا ذلك مبلغهم من العلم إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بمن اهتدى ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ليجزي الذين أساءوا بما عملوا ويجزي الذين أحسنوا بالحسنى الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم إن ربك واسع المغفرة هو أعلم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم فلا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى